All right, we're gonna try and do, I realized that I'm starting to do a lot of work on the truck and I didn't really give an update video yet. So let's kind of just do an overview update of everything I got going on right now. When I got this, tailgate didn't work. So it literally was just the handle had popped off, the two rods that close in. So I reached up in there with some pliers and pulled both rods open so I get it off. I've got a new handle now. I bought a sandblaster, so I'm actually going to be pulling these as well. And we're just going to clean up all the parts and paint them. That's a fender I'm not going to be using. That's why it's sitting there in the back. The bed's nice and clean. This is fantastic. What I had to do, I bought this. Let me go over this. I bought this car cover from Harbor Freight. And this stuff, we get a lot of rain here in Oregon, and the rain's sitting on top of this up here, and then it was sweating through and dripping on the truck. Now the whole point of getting this was to keep it out of the rain, keep the moisture off the truck, because what it's doing is when it's on the truck is it's just primered, so it's just coming through and starting to get some surface rust. So what I had to do is go buy another 16 by 20 tarp and then line the bottom in here to keep this thing dry, and now it's going to be dry. That said, let's take a peek just at what's let's come on the other side on the interior. Sorry for the I just replaced the door locks. These are really easy and simple to replace, which is nice. I've got, let's get the lights on in here. I actually fixed the lights in here. The wire to this light was down here and just sitting over here unplugged, and the actual wire was down underneath here. You can't really see, it's too dark. It was clipped off, so I just spliced into it and ran it back up, and so now the light works. I don't know if you can see, basically pulled the door panels off. They're going to need to be replaced anyway. I knew that ahead of time. And I'm just going through and just cleaning everything, replacing everything, getting new hardware. This is the old hardware I just left on here. All this stuff is pretty inexpensive, which is nice. I'm going to go ahead and replace the handles too. The glass is obviously good. Got all new gasket kits. I'll show you in a minute. For the triangle window, got a new frame for the triangle window. All new gasket kits for the whole door, even here. I don't know if you can quite see it, but I've basically tore this whole dash apart. I've pulled all of the heating system out so that I could clean all the tubes in here. They all had 40 years of dust in them. So all the heater is now clean. If you look at the floor, it had probably a heater core leak at one point, or a leak coming through either the window or maybe the rain drain vent. I need to look into that and make sure. I know it's not the heater core because I've been running this truck and it hasn't been dripping in here, but it did get some decent surface rust on here. I'm going to grind it down, and I have some rust preventative, like a Hammerite. What do they have? It's like P15 or something like that. I forget the name. Somebody can correct me in the comments. But it's black, so I'm going to grind this down to metal. It's not underneath, so when you look underneath the truck, it hasn't gone through. So this is just surface, but it was getting close. So we're going to grind this down, put that on it. Obviously I need to pull the rest of the carpet. I'm working on this, have these gauges in here, pulling these out because I don't want this here, because the temperature and the oil wasn't hooked up here. So you can just kind of see it on the dash. So I need to I know where the wire is for the temperature. I just need to figure out how to rewire in the oil, and then that's good. I upgraded the lighting in the dash. There you go. I put all LEDs in the back here. I bought a new heater unit that was nice and clean. This was broken off on the other one. I put an LED in this too. You can't really see it in this video, but this lights up really nice. I'm pulling the steering wheel apart, replacing all the guts in here, replaced the blinker, the turn signal indicator, control, all of this, all the insides, blinkers and stuff. I fixed the brights. The brights were permanently on before. Now the rod had come out of the bright switch down here. Now it's back in, and the brights work just fine. Pulled the stereo out. I have a new stereo, so I'm just fixing all the wiring, rewired in all the speakers up here. They weren't wired in before. I think I'm getting new speakers as well, possibly for Christmas. We'll see, it's on my Christmas list. What else have we done in here? Found the rear view mirror underneath the seat. I re-glued the piece on the window and then reattached the rear view mirror. It's a little scratched up, so I'll probably have to replace that. Definitely gonna need a new seat, obviously. It's pretty crazy. The foam alone for this on like LMC truck is like 260 bucks, which is crazy to me, but I guess it is what it is. Just deciding if I want to stick with the bench seat in here or get like a, you know, like a newer, one of those nice leather custom ones for like 1,500 bucks or whatever it is. We'll see. The truck had, man, I don't know if you're going to be able to see this. Maybe not. The truck had some 6x9s back here. I hope this shows up on video. I got some temporary 10s in here. Man, I'm going to need some better lighting in here to show this. Yeah, you can't really see it. I got some 10s and some boxes in here for some temporary. All of this has to come back out anyway because I need to pull the seat, need to pull all the carpet. We're gonna, when we pull everything out and make sure to clean up all the rust, and then put that sealant on here. We're also gonna dyno mat everything. It's just nice to have dyno mat. I'm gonna dyno mat the doors as well. And then, so let's hop out of here and let's go take a look at the front. Just kind of go over some of the stuff I've been doing. I'm gonna open this so we can take a closer look. So I pulled the grill and everything. This had some primer, overspray primer on it. I went ahead and did a semi-gloss in the back, so I painted everything. I pulled the light holders in the back. They were a little bit rusty. I pulled them off, got a sandblasting cabinet, sandblasted those, painted those. I actually need to go, now that I'm thinking about it, I forgot I need to go buy 3 more headlights. This one's brand new, the bright. But the rest of these are old and they're a little bit dim and yellowish, so I'm just going to go ahead and replace them. They're like 15 bucks a piece. Horn works, which is great. Pulled all the chrome trim because I'm buying all new chrome trim. Inside, we've cleaned it up a little bit. This one's a little dirty now, but I've repainted both wheel wells. This is permanently yellowed. I'm gonna just need to replace this. Started wiring, I don't know if you can see it, started wiring in some stereo components. I'm getting way ahead of myself by doing this stereo, but I was just excited to do it. The carb was actually idling high. What I did was I did come in, I did do new plugs, new cap, new rotor, and now this thing actually fires up and runs amazing. And idles really well, stops really well, the vacuum is really good. I did use a vacuum gauge and hooked it up to my carb and adjusted the idle and the fuel and air screws for idle. Runs amazing. I wish I had my keys on me right now, I'd show you. I couldn't get the idle down, so I popped the carburetor off and flipped it around, and actually the round discs on the bottom, I call them valves, but they're not valves. But the discs on the bottom, there's 4 of them. The screws that were holding the discs in were actually loose, so the discs were kind of flopping around, which is why I couldn't get the idle low. Like no matter how far down I turned the idle screw, I just couldn't get it low enough. So I got those situated correctly, tightened those down. Now I can get the idle down to like 500. So that's fixed. I also got, I don't know if you'll be able to see it, I got a new alternator. So the stock alternators on here are like, what, 50, 60 amps or something like that. This is a 100 amp alternator because I know I'm going to be running a stereo. This is off of like a 94 Cadillac, but it bolted right up. And now inside when it's running, you can see it's really pumping out the voltage, which is great because I'm going to have I think we're going to do two. I already have the amps. I have a JL 604 and a JL 751 for the subs. So we'll have 1400 watts running through here. And that's about all you need in these trucks. I've got this taped off because I'm getting ready to grind this down and just clean this up as well, get this black again as well. Definitely going to be replacing, I do believe that the booster is leaking just a little bit because it does have some brake fade. When you're holding the brakes, it fades out. There's no leaking in any of the brakes, so it's most likely this. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to replace this whole unit, and I may go with, instead of a vacuum unit, may do a hydro boost with a Willwood reservoir in the front. They're about $990. I've never done a hydro boost before, but everything I've been seeing and watching videos have been raving about them quite a bit. So they run hydraulic off of the power steering up into the right behind the master cylinder into a valve body. If any of you have that, let me know your thoughts on that, if that's something you would do or not. Gosh, what else? Just pulled off this had some holes in it, so I just pulled it all off. I left the plugs in here for now. I'll probably pull these off too, and probably just leave it bare metal. It's nice to have the padding up there, but you know, that's just extra issues and weight, and I don't think it matters that much. Again, like, I guess we can take a peek at this. Sorry about the video. I do have these old Alcoa, these are 16 5x12 deep dish. They need to be cleaned up. There's definitely some curb rash on them. There's even some scratches in them. It doesn't look that deep on video, but these are really deep. That's what she said. And I'm thinking I'm going to use these. Maybe with 35s or 33s, depends what lift we go with. I do have a new 4-inch lift. I don't know if we're putting it on or if we're going with a 6-inch lift. Like I said, we've got new wing window. These are the brackets. I've got all the gaskets. I've got parts everywhere. What else we got? We've got, you know, chrome trim for the front. We've got the new side pieces. I've got a new grill. I've got all the new gaskets there. I've got the new lift here. What else? Old tires. We've got the 14 bolt that we're going to be tearing down and completely rebuilding. This will be the end-all be-all for the truck. So we'll have a locker. Probably do 410s. Just depends how big we go. Actually, the gears on the truck right now, and what they were stock, is 410s, which is crazy. And then we'll do disc brakes. And depending on how high a lift we go, when this gets put in, I'll probably get these ground off and pivoted for the leaf springs so that there's a tip on the differential. That would be my guess. There is the old grill, and getting a new glove box liner. These are actually the LED lights I used for the dash, if you're curious. And then this is the new grill, which is still in here, but I'm not going to pull out because it'd be hard to do with one hand. And then, of course, tailgate parts. So it's kind of nice. We can just work on that inside. And yeah. And then of course, I've got a new front right. I still need to get a new front left. And then this is definitely reusable. It's still clean. It's only got one little dent in it. Actually two, really small. I think I can press these out from the back side and just mold them out. And then the black is going to have to be touched up. It's just faded over time. So we'll have to go through and get that repainted or touched up, or however we want to do it. So that is the mess of it for now. The wiring kit for the amp, temporary amp, came with those 10s. I'm eventually going to make a custom box for those 10s, and maybe have 12s. I don't know. Either way, they're going to have to be shallow mount because there's not a lot of room back there. That's it for now. Maybe I'll splice in right here at the end. I'll just fire it up real quick. It runs really good now, if you remember it from the video before, so I may actually stop it right here, and then I'll splice in a video. I just don't have my keys in my pocket. We'll fire it up and attach that. Alright, I'll just splice this in. Even though there's no steering wheel on here, we'll just show how that runs now. See if that's... Whoops. See, it's putting out nice amperage with that new, bigger alternator. Man, this thing runs really good since it's been tuned up. Let's get out and I'll show you. I don't know if you can hear it. I mean, if you remember in the first video I shot, it was not running well. In fact, it died on me a few times trying to drive it. I did fix the lights on the cab. They weren't working before. They weren't fully grounded is what they were. One of the bulbs was also bad. So I just cleaned it all up, re-grounded them, and now they're working. Everything runs really well. So yeah, idles well, runs well. That's it. That's the update for this time being, and I'll let you know if on the next update what else I've done. All right. Hope you enjoy and take care.